this lady and I told her quite a story. Said I love her forevermore. But the trouble is I tell the same old story to every girl that walks through the door. This is the slickster talking at you, honey. Well, first they love me and then they don't. Sometimes they do it and sometimes they won't. So I said to this girl, hey, you get out. And she got to her feet and began to shout, you a die so bro, a die so bro. And you're always lying to your friends. You a die so bro, a die so bro. And you never get nothing in the end. What you talking about, ladies? This is the slickster talking to you. I don't do nothing but tell the truth. Well, they thought this dude might learn a lesson, but I didn't learn a thing at all. While late last night I was out there messing with a lady that was 7 feet tall. Now that was a big one. So I said, hey, baby, spend the night at my house. She said, no way, you jive little mouse. I said, hey, now, baby, can't take no more. So she threw me on the floor in a figure of 4, singing, yeah, so bro, I die so bro. And you always lie to your friends. You're a die so bro, I die so bro. And you never get nothing in the end. Hey, wait a minute, everybody. Ain't no die so bro. Now come on up, band, and break it down for the slickster now. Sooner or later you'll see the light. You gotta stop your job for the Monday night. If we can't shoot
Here we
Welcome to Tuesday Night TerrorVision. We are back and better than ever. Etep right here with you, joined by Mrs. Co-host Trina to you. How you doing, Trina?
I'm well, happy to be here. Hello to you guys, and hello to everybody in the chat.
Thank you for joining us. And we are joined, speaking of being joined, we are joined by a great friend of the program and an awesome guy, Mr. J-Man. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to talking about this one.
Yeah, we've got a very, very different movie we watched. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. So yeah, it's it was an interesting movie. That's what I'll say. I can't see anybody in the chat right now. It says we got there's 9 people watching, but I can see nothing in the chat. So I'm assuming it's all on Twitter then. So because YouTube just loves me. I actually did good today in the algorithms, but that's all right. There, J-Man started out in the chat. All right, so it is working. Okay.
If you click on the, there's a little eyeball in StreamYard. Click on the eyeball, it'll break it down. Who's on Twitter, who's on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, so it says 7 on YouTube, 4 on X.
So it's
All
almost
right,
on. Yeah, so X is, yeah.
Okay, we are on Rumble tonight as well. Over there, folks. I decided to blow the dust off of Rumble and stream over there. It's been a month or so. What's up, Slasher? Good to see you, brother. Hail.
Slasher.
All right, let's see here. We'll give a few more folks a chance to roll in here. Let's thank the channel members and Patreon backers, and then we'll get into tonight's review. So there we go. There's how you thank our channel members and Patreon backers. Hey, Papa and Brutal, welcome. All right, we have a movie. We got a movie to get to here, and it is. Are you kidding me? Hang on a second. Well, apparently we're gonna have to wait a minute here. Just slight minute, because I've got a title card, and I probably uploaded it on the wrong brand. Good thing this is an extremely short one. I'll take that. I'll take a moment here while that's uploading to promote. Hey, I did a review of Raw today, and it actually did really well. It's up over like 250 views already, because I made it freaking hilarious, because Raw was kind of shite last night. There was a few things that were okay, but there was so much bad that I got to take a chance to just shit all over it, because I don't want people I get the weirdos occasionally in the comments going, right, oh, you dudes hate on AEW. I'm like, have you watched me review a Fed show? Because I will tear that to bits. And Trina has texted me angrily 3 times.
I love wrestling. There's all my wrestling collections, this entire wall here. I haven't watched Raw yet. I didn't have a chance today, but I'll watch it tomorrow. There's one spot in particular. You've probably seen it on Twitter, the Kairi Sane dive to the outside. Oh, I haven't seen all. Oh, really? Okay. Just look for that spot during the Unholy Union versus Damage Control match. You'll see it, and you'll. Yep. Anyway, we're gonna review Long Legs. Here we go. And that title, when that pops in, it's holy, because you start out into the and I've got it right here. I made the list, Trina. She doesn't get that reference because she's not a wrestling fan. No. Neither does she know about the List of Jericho. Yes, I do like the List of Jericho. Never mind. I'm not going to. That's too long to get into. You know who invented that list? But no. So we have like a winter exterior, and we have this station wagon pulling up to this white farmhouse, and you see the little girl inside. She's kind of looking out, and it's like it's set very ominous. That's the best way to describe this opening scene. It's right from the word go, like this isn't, it's not going to be of some peaceful, like serene. They want to, they give you that aesthetic, but that's not the mood and that is, in the tone that is conveyed to the audience. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, there's full spoilers. I put that right in the title of the review for everybody. So just in case, I know it's been out for a little bit now. So it's like 2 weeks of spoiler. I do spoilers immediately. The spoilers don't bother me. Like I have my buddy's spoiler movie while I'm sitting in the theater about to watch it. He's like, you know what happens in this, right? I'm like, and he tells me, I'm like, we're watching it right now. You're like, I'm gonna punch you in the dick. That's no. It's totally good. It's fine. I love it. I'm so pissed because Endgame got spoiled the morning I was going to the theater. Right. I had deleted this guy off Facebook, and I added him back like a day or two before because he DM'd me, and we were kind of like friends through wrestling. And then I'm scrolling through my time. I should have known better, like Richard Marx said. And sure enough, here's, hey, do you know, damn, Iron Man dies. I'm like, mother. Oh, man. Are you, God damn it, I've been avoiding this. Like, and
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off. As a spoiler like that, like, yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah. Well, we know Nicolas Cage is the bad guy in this, so I mean that was known ahead of time. They're really. Yeah. It's only how it's happening is the only really spoilery thing.
You kind of know. I don't want to say you know where it's going, but you know it's going to be insane because Nicolas Cage is the fucking heel in this. He's the heel. He's the dude is batshit crazy anyway.
He's Beetlejuice in this movie. I was like, why is Beetlejuice the villain in this movie?
That's what a Godzillionaire hail. That's the aesthetic I got was, and I couldn't place it, but now that you say that, it's like, oh my god, he is Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice is the villain. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh god. So we're outside the farmhouse, and the little girl she's looking around at the car, and then she hears like, and looks and sees somebody kind of like, and it's set far enough away to where it's not obscured, but you can't focus on who or what it is. And then she's looking around back, and all of a sudden hears, and they don't show his face. It's only like chest up in his hands until he goes up and he covers his face, and he says something about her birthday. And he's like, oh, there's the almost birthday girl, implying that he knows her, and says, it seems I wore my long legs. And then he goes to the blah with his hands, and it cuts to the fucking title card right there. That's when you get the title card. And it, like, I jumped a little bit on that. What the hell? Like, I didn't expect, I knew something was going to happen to this kid, but I'm like, it's kind of like it's like Peter Griffin, like, that's that was kind of what I was doing. Terrifier still got me shook. I'm not gonna lie. The first and second one, that second one. Oh.
Yeah, this is a better movie than any of the Terrifiers.
Oh, no way! Trina and I are gonna be on opposites on this one.
Yep. I'll die on this hill.
Oh no!
I'm even impressed to say it's better. I mean,
it's better. It actually has a storyline.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have one.
It does. Yes,
this movie's fucking insane.
Yeah,
there's no storyline. What is it? Well, let's see if we can decipher it together. I'm interested to know what it is. I was looking for the storyline. I thought I found it, but then no, it went away.
I did too. So we go
How
to
do you not know what the storyline is?
Because it goes so far off the fucking reservation.
It doesn't though.
There's a 5-minute exposition. I felt like 80 minutes they didn't know what was going on, and they're like, you know what? I think we better explain this movie. Why don't we have a 5-minute voiceover, just explain the whole thing, and then end the movie? And I thought, okay, I guess that was the story.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like,
I don't know. They waited till the end of the. It's like. So I just sat through an hour and 41 minutes, or an hour. Well, at that point, it's like an hour and 34 minutes. And now you're going to take the last 5 minutes to explain what I just fucking watched?
That's what it felt like.
Is there a quiz?
I actually, it was very weird. I understand what they were going for, like this very creepy. Yeah. The problem is that when they start off with this creepy Criminal Minds, like, okay, what's going on? There's these victims. It's completely weird. When Nicolas Cage appears in this Beetlejuice fright wig and makeup, he's so he's great because he's fun. He's a fun character, but he's so comical that I was immediately removed from all danger. I thought, is he supposed to be funny?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't seem creepy. He just seemed like, oh, Nicolas Cage is being a fun character. And I thought maybe this is supposed to be more of a fun kind of a movie and not really this serious. And they're explaining the dolls, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but like they're getting to the dolls, and I'm like, but would I accept this gift? Like, how did this work? Like, it just felt like they try to contrive this thing in order to make it a spooky thriller. But I'm like, if someone says I'm gonna, I won't kill your daughter, I'll be like, well, I'm just one of the cops, like, immediately. Like, I understand there has to be it's a movie, so there has to be some movieisms in it. Like, it was so weird to me, and I just felt like, are they going to give little bits of information? It's one of these movies where, like, okay, how does this work? Okay, there's these spheres. What does this mean? And it's not explained until one person explains the whole movie. And I thought, whoa, it felt really lazy. I just thought they got caught up in the artistry and they forgot.
Wow.
Yeah,
damn, man. I just see it so differently.
Well,
like, I love how you don't know what's going on until the end. I absolutely like it. It was actually a different movie. It wasn't so formulaic like so many horror movies are, and it was so different. And yeah, I had a blast with it. I love how they kept you like guessing as to what was going on until the end. I love that. I know a lot of people don't like that, and I'm actually good with not knowing all the answers at the end of a movie or a series as well. And I know a lot of people aren't like that.
I'm totally good with not knowing anything. The problem is that once I found out, I thought it was awful. So it's like once the explanation was given, I was just like, none of this makes any sense. Like they're creating these life-size dolls. It's like, who would accept this as a gift? It's like, oh, you won this gift. It's like, why do I have a creepy doll of my kid? And then she's either physically watching it happen or metaphysically watching it happen. When the FBI agent, Micah, I don't know how to say her name, Micah Monroe. She comes at the end, and we know that the fellow is acting weird, and he's going to kill the wife, and she's literally sitting there, not doing anything. I thought this was a call to suspense. Like I thought this was like, we need to get to this house in time to prevent this tragedy. She gets there and she sits idle. I know that her mother, Alicia Witt, like her mother's there, and she's having this. Yeah. This is the exposition dump, and they're going in the kitchen. He's killing her, and she's just standing there frozen. I thought, should you be doing something? I don't get what's going on.
Yeah, because you can hear Blair Underwood like just slashing and stabbing, and I'm like, you're just sitting there, like really.
Okay, so all right, how I understood it was that that was going to happen no matter what. That was slated to happen. If you paid attention to when they were interviewing Longlegs, he basically said that, you know, I don't really know how to explain it, but this was all put into motion a while ago, like when Lee Harker was a kid. This was all gonna happen. Is that
Micah's character? How do you say her name?
Her real name I don't know, but her character is Lee Harker.
Lee. Okay, so Lee. Yeah, he made the deal with her mother to leave her be if she would help him with this thing. I just feel like it's like soon as that guy leaves, I'll just call the police and be like, this weird guy's out here. Now, even if you don't call the police, she's allowing other families to die by giving them these weird dolls. Like, it's just everything seems so just dumb to me. I just felt like this is so dumb. Like, it's like, here's a doll that you won from the church. It's like, why are you giving me this creepy doll? And then it sits there and then it possesses the father to kill everybody. I'm like, can't you just do something else? Like give them a trinket then maybe? It just seemed like who would accept this? And he's making this huge doll. What if they don't accept it? What if they're like, no, we don't want this doll? Then does he make another doll of another family? When you're doing a metaphysical thing, you either don't explain hardly anything. Like if you don't explain anything, then we're going to be sitting here thinking, oh, I think it meant this. No, I think it meant that. But they did explain it, but the explanation was bad. That's my problem. Not that they didn't explain it or they explained too much. The explanation doesn't work for me in this movie because it would have been better to not explain anything. If she just got there and the guy was possessed and he killed, then you'd be like, whoa, that was a spooky movie. Like, what was this even about? Well, maybe he was the devil or maybe but explaining it all makes it weirder to me because you're just like, oh, what if I don't take the doll? Like, here's this doll. I don't want it. Get off my property. And then what does he do? Does he make a doll of the next neighbor? It's just, I don't know. Like were the families targeted because of certain beliefs? Like they made it seem like it was a police procedural, like Criminal Minds were going to dig deep. And then they flipped it into this metaphysical thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because they went through that entire thing in the beginning with all the case files and she's listening to the 911 tapes. Yeah. I was like, okay, so this is going to give a lot of information that we're probably going to need to decipher things to go along.
For sure.
On the cases and the similarities. And, you know, I'm like, I like that. And like, okay, so after that first scene at the farm, they cut. I like when they cut to the FBI and they're training, or they're being briefed. They're in a briefing, and then you have this is where you meet Harker, Lee Harker. The what's her name? Alicia Witt is the actress's name.
Alicia's the mom.
Alicia's the mom.
Lee is the girl from from
right.
It Follows or whatever.
I see. I've never seen that one. I've never seen it.
I just know it is from. That's a good movie. That's a great intro horror movie.
I've heard that one was pretty good, but so yeah, we're in the briefing.
Or very little is explained.
We're in the briefing room, and her and her what was her partner's name? I wrote it down somewhere here.
Agent Fisk.
Fisk, yeah, Agent Chris Fisk. He was like, he's like, you sit in the car, woman. That's pretty. That's on brand for Chris. I love you, Chris. I know his brand of misogyny. It's fine. It's kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. It's working. But no. So they're going door to door, and she is there. Her partner. She finally gets out of the car after she kind of has like this. What is that? Like a premonition, I guess it would be. And she tells her Fisk 3525. That's where he is, and he's like, okay, I'll go up to the door. And he rings the doorbell, and you hear footsteps, and he's like, hi, and then boom, and he just falls over, and they pan, and he's just bleeding out of the back of his head because he got shot point blank with a shotgun, judging by the sound. And his gray matter and blood is all over the ground. She's just kind of like shell shocked. Finally draws even quicker response time than the female Secret Service agent on that. Never mind. But she managed to unholster her weapon and go in the house. And now this is the thing that got me is the guy is just sitting there on the bed. Now, benefit of hindsight, this makes no fucking sense to me. Who was this guy? This is not Long Legs.
Right.
This is just because they never say who it was. I don't think.
So, this is where the movie already started to jump the shark for me, because one of two things I loved that she picked him out, because it's like, okay, audience, she's got some kind of powers. Yep. We now know that this is not a Criminal Minds film. There's going to be metaphysical things. Long Legs has some sort of powers. We need a girl with powers to contradict the villain with powers. So she's like, the guy's in there. He's like, oh, okay, sure. Then he gets his head blown off. Now, what should happen is he gets his head blown off, and that guy comes out to shoot her. Like, he just is crazy now. He's going to go shoot her. But then he shoots that guy and then goes down and sits down. And you're like, okay. And then I'm thinking, well, she hesitated because she got scared. So I'm thinking in her mind, she realized that her powers are accurate. And she's nervous about that, but also that she just saw her partner get shot. She is new on the job, or newer. So she's hesitant, which is going to teach her the basics of these field assignments, that look, things can get dangerous, unexpected things can happen, so that by the end of the film, she will have that quick reaction time. She will trust her powers, right? But none of that happens. So she's slow again in the end. So I'm thinking, but then, and then you're like, well, what was the point of this entire scene? Then the point of it in a movie was to build her character up, but it didn't do that, and it didn't make sense within itself. So I'm thinking, okay, so that was just a cool thing to have this guy shoot the guy.
Okay, so it does make sense if you think about how Long Legs is working. Okay, so in order for me to explain this, I have to give away the major plot of the. Yeah. Okay, so it does make sense if you think about how Long Legs is an agent of the devil, and he talks about how he says we, so there are many of them working for the devil. So this guy, the way that I understand it, that first kill, like that gets her, like really into this case. The way I see it is that Long Legs, or actually the devil, puts her at that scene to get her involved in this case, because it goes back to the FBI director, and he's like, well, how did you know it was that house, and all of this, and that's where they discover, well, are you clairvoyant? Do you have all this stuff? So it gets her involved in this case, it sets it in motion. Because if you remember when he was in the interrogation room, he says, well, when we found out you were going into law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. So this was a setup. This whole thing was planned from beginning to end.
Okay, so you're saying Longlegs allowed one of the Legion, because you're saying we, meaning Legion. Yeah. That's what they mean in the Bible, right? We are Legion. Yeah, biblical, we are Legion. So that shotgun guy was a Legion member, just to use a term. He's a Legion member. Longlegs wanted her there because he knew that this guy would trigger her precognitive abilities, and then so he wanted her to be involved in the case. That's fine too. Like, I mean, that's fine to say that's how she got involved, because that is how she got involved, because as you said, they said, hey, you have some powers, maybe we can use you on this case, right?
Yes.
But it didn't help the character. Like, it's just a device. I get it. It's a device for her to get to the story of what we're actually going to watch now, and that's fine. It's like James Bond movies. He solves a case and then he goes on to another case. It's just like a stinger in the beginning. But it didn't build anything on her character to me. I'm like, she should have, like, as she was solving these things and getting better and using her abilities more, she should have been prepared better at the end. And it was a bit disappointing when she just sat there. I thought, okay, we're going to get the final showdown, and you didn't really get it. I guess, and realistically, maybe you wouldn't get it, but she should do something. It's just so weird. She ran to, I got to get to this house. I got to get there. And it's like to sit down and let the guy murder the wife and just walk out. And
okay. So this is where, like, biblical knowledge comes into play. So if you believe in the Bible and all that stuff, you believe that predestination on all of that stuff, like things are predetermined, basically. So there wasn't going to be an opportunity for her path to change, because this was slated for her. The decisions and everything were already made for her, so there wasn't going to be any character development or like honing her abilities, because I don't really think that they were even true abilities. It was just like visions that came to her, because they weren't really it wasn't like magic where you can like hone your magic and it gets better, and it's not like, learning how to use a weapon and stuff. They were just visions. Like, she would get flashes and visions and stuff like that. That was the extent of her abilities. So it really, there was not going to be any her getting like stronger or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, when the characters have, like, when they have no like agency to do anything, or they can't complete the task, like, I'm not sure what the movie is going for. It seems like the first half is following clues, figuring things out, the unsub, and all this. I've watched all the Criminal Minds episodes, and I watch Forensic Files and all that stuff. So it's like you think, okay, this is going to be this procedural. How are we going to get this guy? Red Dragon style or Silence of the Lambs style, and a lot of people were saying Silence of the Lambs in the same sentence as this movie. Unless they put Silence of the Lambs as greater than this movie, I wouldn't use it together in a sentence. But in any case, I thought it was going to be this, and then they switched it to this, and that's fine. But you switched it, and the beginning part was getting interesting, but didn't lead anywhere, and the second part wasn't interesting to me and went nowhere anyways. So I'm just left with, like, I don't understand if you're going to make it a complete artsy movie, then just make an artsy movie and let us decide amongst ourselves, what does this really mean? Does this mean that? Or make a crime drama movie. You could have some supernatural elements, but like, you're not confusing like Exorcist. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Exorcist Part 3, which is to me one of the great horror movies.
I own that one. That's with, George C. Scott. George C.
Scott, which mixes. To me, Longlegs was trying to be more like that movie than Silence of the Lambs. They probably should have said Exorcist 3, which would have...
this movie wasn't like... It had nothing to do with Silence of the Lambs. I don't know why people would compare it to that, other than there's FBI involved. That's loose connection.
Right.
Well, there was also that point where the guy was like, would you fuck me hard, fuck me hard? Oh, wait, no, that was wrong movie. No, that they did. All right. So I liked Blair. What's his name? Blair Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
Blair Underwood. Yeah. I like him as an actor. I've seen him in so many damn things over the course of my life, and he's such a good actor. And I thought, like, at first he was gonna, like, he's this kind of, like, you see the way he talks to Harker, like he's this hard-boiled, like, you know. And then he's, you know, I would say they're out drinking, but you know, they go out and she doesn't drink, so he's just sitting there, and she drives him home. And at that point, I'm like thinking, is his wife gonna think that he's like stooping her? Like, right. She's this pretty young, you know, thing, and then she kind of is like almost built the same as his wife. So I'm kind of like, I was like, is there going to be some tension there? And especially when she came in and she was kind of awkward until the daughter just like latched onto her like right away, and it was weird, but you could tell that was going to come into play. Like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is going to come back later on. But yeah, there's that, you know, the scene. It's like the tension at first, but yeah, it was kind of neat seeing him painted after how they introduce him and how you see his character, and then it's like you see the family side of him, and they talk about the birthday and how, oh well, why don't you come? Will you come to my birthday party? You know.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's like a good man. He wasn't just going to be like a shady guy or like.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to set him up as. Is he going to be like this? Like, is he going to, you know, kind of? Is she going to be exposed like how dirty he is or whatever? Right. And there was nothing like that with the character.
I want to say something about the actress too, because I also can't get into characters that are in always one state of mind throughout an entire picture. It's just she's like this, like.
The girl who played Harker?
Like, yeah. It's like, are you a human? Like, she's not even a human being. I didn't care if she lived or died. I didn't care if anyone lived or died. I'm like, well, I'll just kill everybody. I like Nicholas. If Nicolas Cage would have come in and killed everybody, I would have been like, this would have been much better.
I didn't. I had no, you know, like in even like Friday the 13th movies,
right?
You can form like an emotional attachment to a character, you know, in some of the movies. In some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them, not all.
No, maybe Jason, but that's it. Like, what campers have you formed an emotional attachment
to?
Shelley's great. Ginny in part 2 is one of my favorites.
Ginny's brilliant because she uses psychology. They set up that she has psychology knowledge, and then she employs it later. It's practical, and it made perfect sense. Yeah. And that's why she's one of the best fucking final girls in that entire series.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the final girls. Yeah, those are good. But the general cast, you don't really get involved with.
Not. He's one of the you get the most out of him.
Yeah.
Him and the kid in part 5, the stuttering kid. The one that's in love with the girl who's dancing.
Yeah.
Man,
they're all generic names. It's like Steven or something, right?
Yeah, so. I can't think of his name offhand, but like him, and then in what's the one in part 8? Julius the boxer, because I thought
he's great.
You met him, I'm like, this guy's cool as hell. Like,
yeah, he's a cool guy.
That's another one. So there's a few.
I think everyone's being too serious in this. It's all dreariness all the time. They're all just like, this is dreary. It's all dreary faces. Like, oh no, this is so terrible.
There was like no level. Was there no like even in like there was no moments of levity. Like even like I'm not saying like I needed a quip. I don't need it to be Marvel, but like for the character's sake, at some moment, you know, and I guess the best you could get was when Harker was talking to the daughter in the bedroom and they're kind of having that light discourse. That's as lighthearted a scene as you get in this entire movie right there.
She could have faked something. She could have been like, hey, I love your room. It's great. I had a room just like this when I was a kid. I love it. Like but it's still like, I understand there's dreariness and the movie is not a happy movie, but even Clarice is not walking around like completely like stone dead and just like, oh no. And like for the whole of Silence of the Lambs or whatever, like there needs to be some little thing. I just felt like they're being too serious. The problem for me is they're being so serious. And then Nicolas Cage comes in and he's Beetlejuice and he's like, hey, I'm like, Is this supposed to be seriously scary, or like you're the killer?
Yeah.
Like if you had a police lineup, you're like, yeah, that's him. Normally these killers look normal. You're like, I never would have thought Jim Bob was a killer. He was a nice guy. You take the garbage out every morning, say good morning to me. It's like, oh no, that's him. He's the killer. He looks weird and freaky and wearing makeup, so that's obviously him. So I guess that's it. Like, and then like that weird. The best character was that girl at the shop. She's like, Dad, that weird guy's here again.
Okay,
that was the best thing in the whole movie.
Question: does he kill them?
No, because he didn't make this elaborate doll and put a phantasm sphere in his head. I don't know.
That was the thing. I'm like, okay, so he's been there before. Did he kill them and we just didn't see it? Was it off screen? Like, what? Yeah, that was kind of funny. Dad, that weird guy's here. Dad.
That weird guy's here.
And
Get out of here.
That's the thing. I'm like, okay, so like physically, like there's no way this guy has any sort of physical strength, like whatsoever. You know, like Nicolas Cage's character.
Oh,
like,
yeah. He's frail.
You know,
he's like,
very frail. What's up, Gap After Dark? Hey, brother.
Gap. Hey, Gap.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Super chat from the Joseph.
The Joseph Santos. He says, well, I do have a glass here this evening, sir, that I will. Wait, let me do it properly. I'll raise the pinky to you, sir. Do it properly.
I have my water bottle with poo emojis on it that I drink.
Nice. We gotta hang on, Joseph. I'll get you. I got super chat bumpers. I don't have any on this. I need to make this is on this weekend when we're doing channel maintenance. We'll make horror super chat bumpers for over here. But I did make a new super chat bumper for Nitro, which I got to play last night. And we'll go over to the Nitro brand. That's Wrestling Trina, and there goes my phone. Here's our. For a $2 super chat from the Joseph Santos, great friend of the channel. Here's a Samurai Cop super chat bumper, sir. Yeah, I had J-Man perks up. Here we go.
Would you like to fuck me?
Bingo. I feel like somebody stuck a big club up my ass, and it hurts. I've got to figure out a way to get it out of there.
They call him Samurai. He speaks fluent Japanese.
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
Doesn't interest me. Nothing there.
Nothing there? Just exactly what would interest you? Something the size of a jumbo jet?
You son of a bitch! Come back here, you motherfucker!
If Akamura is here, then we'll arrest him. And we'll have a solid case against the Katana Gang for hiring 4 assassins to kill a policeman. On the other hand, if it's the wrong house, then we'll apologize to the owner.
God, and look what they've done to my car. Captain Roman's gonna burn my ass.
Yeah, he's gonna burn it. Charcoal black.
It is black.
Right on.
Is he the guy that does all those sound effects?
That's not Michael.
No, it's Michael Winslow.
Okay.
They could not afford Michael Winslow.
No, I like how the main guy is never sure that he's really saying the right line. He always has that look like he's like, I think this is what I'm supposed to say. And Matt Cordell's in there. Maniac Cop, the guy with the beard in that.
Robert Zadar.
Robert Zadar. That was Zadar, I believe. That was.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's funny. I didn't know he had a daughter until I saw that Ileana chick from the U.S. Olympic team this year. I was like, oh, Robert Zadar has a daughter. All right. Good for you, Robert.
Oh, stop it. Demonetized.
I'm so bad. I know. YouTube. I'm like Ralph Wiggum. My monetization's like, I'm in danger.
You're done.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph Santos, for the super chat. Okay. So let's see here. Where the fuck are we? I
told you, I did warn you. Whenever you did ask me on.
I did. It's okay. No, Trina knows. Normally, I have 1, 2, 3. I wrote 3 pages of notes, and I stopped at the finale of the movie because it just got so fucking batshit crazy. I just put my notepad in my pen, and I'm just
just go with it.
Yeah, I got 5 pages here.
Oh my goodness!
More than I did.
Wow.
So the partner's been killed. We've established that she has powers. We've met the family. Let's see 911 call. She falls asleep on the floor. That's when they go out to the bar. And I just called him Blair Underwood because I couldn't think of the partner's the guy's name. Let's see. So she goes home. Oh, okay. So this is the first time she goes home and she calls her mom. She calls mom, and she hears this bang on, knock, knock, knock on the door. And she's the FBI agent, and she's sitting there, and she lives in a secluded area. And it's nighttime, and all her fucking blinds are open. This bothered me as somebody who, I don't live in like that secluded. Like I have neighbors like 20 yards away from me. But I'm backed up by a lot of fucking forest. So it's like that shit, I'm like, close your fucking blinds, bitch. Like my living room, like if I open my big window, it faces the woods. Like I've seen enough horror movies, and you keep that shit fucking closed. Like
you're nitpicking. It's a horror movie.
I am nitpicking, and I will.
That didn't bother me.
People run upstairs. People fumble their keys. This is a horror movie. Blinds are not drawn.
I didn't notice that. I didn't think about that. I just thought, whatever, she's there. But
you know what? The blinds being open, Trina?
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think that'll crush the movie, but
it's not that big of a plot
it is a point.
I guess it's a point. Bothered me. Listen, my people have an eye for details, and we tend to nitpick things. But no, it just bothered me. So she goes outside. She sees him in the woods, and she's got her gun drawn, and she's acting like an FBI agent. She's surveying, and then I love having seen so many horror movies now. I'm automatically, when she's walking, I'm looking at what they're framing over her shoulders and where the light is set. And I'm like, oh, framed on the house. He's going to show up over her left shoulder as she's yep, here he goes in the house. And then she kind of sees him, and she goes in, and then she finds the card. And this is, don't open me until January 14th. And of course she opens it, and it is the note that's written in, which is, we find out is satanic code. And yeah, it was that was pretty. I like that. I do like. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like the supernatural aspect being tied in with like the procedural part of it. I like that. I did. For as many issues as I had with the movie.
Hey, Vinny.
Hey, Vincenzo. What's up, brother? Oh, real quick. Vote. Go over to the community tab. Vote on the poll for which Friday the 13th we're watching on Vincenzo's birthday.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Did you hit that, Trina?
No.
My notepad fell down and hit the keyboard. It must have been the space bar. That's kind of funny.
That was weird.
I'm not even that drunk or high yet. I mean, it's still early. I don't have to teach tomorrow. We're good. And if any of my students are watching, hi kids, go to bed. It's a school night. It's 9:30. You little shits. What are you doing watching this anyway? You kids. No, this we're got the poll up for Vinny's birthday on Friday the 13th. Right now, part 2 is leading in what is a fucking runaway. I would love to watch part 5 because we haven't.
I voted for 5.
Good. I want 5 to get more love because I feel like the Danny Steinman directed softcore porn,
right,
is a underrated gem, and people shit on it just because it's not Jason, a la Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, just because Michael Myers was in it. It's a fucking awesome movie.
Yes. I'm going to write an essay. I'm going to do a video on Friday 13 Part 5 is a masterpiece, and if you don't think so, you're wrong.
Oh, dude. I will happily do a guest spot on that for you. Absolutely, because I love that one.
See, like, even when Trina was saying about the Terrifiers, like, Terrifier is a better, to me, this is how I explain it. Terrifier is a better Terrifier movie than Longlegs is a better Longlegs movie. Like,
yes.
Like, what Longlegs?
No.
Hold on a second.
Terrifier sucks.
So hold on. But Terrifier, you know what it is, and it doesn't change what it is.
It's slop.
It's presenting you
absolute slop.
Of course, I love it.
There's
it's a big
story.
Movie.
You can't even compare the two. Like
correct.
Honestly, you can't compare Terrifier to any movie like this. Terrifier you can compare to like Hostel or I don't even know what else.
But no. So hold on. What I'm saying is that what Terrifier sets out to do, it accomplishes brilliantly because the people who don't even like that concept would not like it. Longlegs sets a higher bar, but falls short of the bar. Terrifier sets the bar that it sets and exceeds the bar that it set, because you thought it'll be a schlock slasher movie like Friday the 13th Part 5. It'll be a schlock, nudity, ultra gore, but then it excels on that because it brought you things that you didn't expect out of that concept. This movie aimed higher for sure, but it didn't deliver on what it aimed at. So you could like, if you like it more, if you don't like slasher movies or these really ultra gore ones, you're not going to like it. Like I didn't watch Hostel. I just have zero interest in it really. I like slasher movies with a cool looking killer. That's kind of the thing. You haven't seen the series. Yeah, it is gore porn, but it tells you that.
Yeah.
It tells you, hey guys, this is a schlock movie. There's going to be nudity. There's going to be super gore. It's going to be outrageous. You're going to throw up because if you can't take it. But then they deliver that. But this movie didn't deliver for me what it was promising. That was my problem.
I do get your point, but I mean, it's not hard to deliver on something that's so easy to deliver. Like you say, okay, this is going to be gory. This is going to be this and that and everything. Mm-hmm. What a gore movie is, that is not hard to deliver. A movie like this where there's a lot more involved, you've got a whole bunch of different elements in it. This is a far more intricate movie. You don't think that it delivered? I respect your opinion. I do feel like it did. I really do. I feel like this was a good movie.
Yeah, you're not alone. A lot of people really enjoyed it. In terms of like, I don't want to turn this into the Terrifier versus this, but like the Terrifier delivered the gore, but it delivered a lot of things that were unexpected, like him using the gun. I know that's a silly thing, but I've never seen that where the guy just pulls the gun out. You're like, oh my God, he pulled the gun out. This is crazy. And sawing her in half, as crazy as that is crazy to accomplish that feat. Most movies wouldn't even attempt it. Like, what was the other one we watched? Drive-In, or what was that one we watched with the boys? Drive-through. To me, that did not accomplish. That was your standard fun kind of, okay, that was fun. Had a couple of cool kills, but Terrifier like way upped that.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Terrifier when it came out because I thought, oh, this will just be a schlocky, crappy horror movie. But then it excelled in being that. And I think it elevated it because it was so bonkers. This one was, for me, it just fell short. I don't know. It fell short. Cinematography was good in this movie. I like the music. I like the kind of the tone. I like Nicolas Cage being Beetlejuice. But
You're not wrong. That's what he was. He was Beatles with the fucking the hands.
He's doing the hands. Like, what is this?
I was honestly thinking, what was that cheerleading movie? With was it Hot Body Ugly Face? Kirsten Dunst was in it.
Oh yeah. That's a great movie. You're talking
Bring It On.
That's a great movie.
Pulaski, Spirit Fingers. Spirit Fingers. It was Sparky Pulaski.
Yeah.
I just referenced fucking Bring It On.
Oh, that's a great movie.
My girlfriend in college loved that movie. I watched that with her so many times, and the only reason I dated her is because she looked like a more stacked version of Elaine from Seinfeld, but that's neither here nor there or anywhere. But no, the Terrifier analogy to me is, and I like this movie. It's fucking off the rails, but I enjoyed it for that reason because I like Nicolas Cage. I'm hard pressed to find a Nicolas Cage performance I don't like. Like my wife hates fucking Nicolas Cage, and after the movie, she was kind of like, "What the fuck did we just watch?" And I was like, "That was pretty fucking out there." I was like, I didn't dislike it, but it was out there. So yeah, Terrifier, absolutely. It tells you this, like the trailer for the third one tells you it's in your face, it's bloody, it's gory, just be ready. This is like, yeah, they're like, it was almost an attempt at elevated horror, I think. And it was an amalgamation of Silence of the Lambs with
It wasn't Silence of the Lambs. Because it had the FBI doesn't mean it was Silence of the Lambs.
But it was like that, and almost what was that other fucking Insidious kind? I don't know. There was like all kinds of like shit. Just this is like, did Nicolas Cage fucking write this?
It was different. This was a different movie.
I've done a lot of hallucinogenics over the course of not in a long time. Not in a long time. Like the worst thing I've done recently was some China White, and that was a mistake. But kids, don't listen to this. But it's been years and years, and that's what this reminded me of. Was like the first time I ever did fucking liquid microdot. Like, holy fucking shit! Like, just hold on, and yeah, that's. It wasn't like a roller coaster, but it was just like, oh God, what, what? Like, and it went the extreme.
Yeah, it made you think.
No, I didn't think at all. I thought that the filmmakers forgot they were making a movie and then said, we better put a storyline quickly in this. And then in the 5 minutes, if they shouldn't have had any exposition. I'll tell you this.
Vinny's in the chat. Vinny, you got to see this movie because I bet you Vinny will like it like I do.
I think they shouldn't have had any explanation because the explanation they gave is awful, but they shouldn't have had any. She should have went in and be like, what's going on? And then her mom's there like, okay, something's weird, and just leave it completely open. Then you could have said, this is an experimental art horror movie like that Skin in the Rink, which everyone hated, even though I like that one and everyone hates that one.
I hate that movie.
Exactly. Everyone hates that one. You'll hate it. It's 100% guaranteed you'll hate it. I loved it because it's complete weirdness for the whole movie. There's no attempt at any explanation. It's a child's nightmare. The explanation is it's a child's nightmare, and sit here for 2 hours and you'll be bored out of your mind. I wasn't bored for some reason. Who knows why? It just happens that way. But they shouldn't have had anything, because then we would have been like, what's going on? This whole entire stream would have been like, what do you think that meant? Or why were those dolls there? Or what was the sphere? But when they explained it all, you're like, yeah, that's dumb. So you made these dolls. What if they don't accept them? Like they tried to explain it, and I'm just like, but this is so weird. Like, I
did not like. Okay, so I get the questions, but I wasn't sitting there like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand this. I totally wasn't like. That didn't happen to me at all. I was just like, okay, this is cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know what there was to not get.
No,
when the dolls when the dolls came in at first, like literally I was just sitting there and I just,
why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
I'm like, what the fucking, now we got dolls with balls in their fucking head. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Just give the ball.
Yeah. Just the little fucking sphere. That's all you needed. And then it's like, oh, hey, Don Coscarelli's going to want fucking royalty.
Yes. No, but if someone comes to your house and says, hi, I'm part of your church group. Oh, hi. I made this life-size doll of your child. I'd be like, oh, that's fucking weird. And I'm calling the police. Like, what is this? It's so weird.
That's not how it would happen, because it's a church community. It's a church community. So if they say they won a raffle and this little doll looks like the daughter of the family, you're going to accept it, because that's what. I
don't know about that. Give them a silver cross or something. Give them a religious icon, or and say like, here, you've won this golden cross that we've given. Oh, thank you so much. And they put on their mantelpiece, and that possesses them. Having the doll, he's making the doll.
You're hung up on the doll. You're way too hung up on the doll.
It's the story.
Made us go to fucking church as kids. Like we had to go. If somebody would have shown up, because we lived out in the country like this, we didn't have a white house, but it was asbestos siding as a kid, which is probably not good. But we lived out in the country. If somebody would have showed up at our house and said, because I have two younger sisters, if somebody showed up and said, we made a life-size doll that looks like one of your daughters, My mother always had a gun on her. They would have been picking their fucking brains up off the fucking pavement, like on our driveway. I mean,
doll.
It's very weird.
If somebody made a life-size doll of one of my family's from inner city Detroit, they don't fuck around with weird shit.
Okay, but this isn't okay. But this isn't okay. This is rural. Okay, you guys are so hung up on this doll.
But it's the story.
Weird. It is weird.
We have to believe the doll.
I have no suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, that's the problem. We have to accept
that wrestling. That ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Yeah, like just give them the same storyline. Just give them the cross, and they're like, we keep finding these crosses. Every family had a cross like this.
You wouldn't give a cross. You would
something else, an angel, maybe an angel figurine or something like that. Like
a fucking butt cake. I don't know.
The guy, Long Legs, he was a doll maker. So that's what he already did in life. So it makes sense that he made the dolls.
Right. But it's someone writing that he's a doll maker. They should have written that he was something else and give that, because a life-size doll. Okay. If someone makes a life-size doll of you, and comes to your house, knocks on the door, and says, "Hey, Trina, look, I made you." You would think, "What are you doing with this doll? Like, why are you giving this to?" Like, it would be so bonkers outside of the realm of reality. I would be completely weirded out and stunned.
The only thing I've ever gotten close to that, and hang on, you know what? Let me walk.
Oh dear. Oh dear. What are we getting? What did we?
Hang on. Let me find it.
No.
No,
what does he get?
Now I got something from a great friend of the channel.
Dear.
Super guy, and I haven't died yet.
Well, let's see.
I keep these on the back in the portals on the Death Star. I got it. Hang on, let me embiggen.
Oh my goodness, that is great. What is it?
I got it. I'm a Marvel legend, and this is.
That is funny.
And yes, his hat comes off. Whoops, hang on, I can't take it off that way. His head will come off, but. He's even bald, and he has the glorious beard, just like I do.
Right.
See how cool that is?
But it's not a life-size doll. And you know what's cool is me and Tony can be like, "Hey, Tone, what's up, Tone? You're not being big guy. I'm not being no bigot. Etep. All right, see? Tone's even got his glasses." But Salvador from 2 Cents Toys made these.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what if it was a life size of your son? What if it was a life size doll of your son? You'd be like, dude, like
I would fucking freak the fuck out and be stabbing somebody because I've always got a blade on me. That's I've got a 4 foot tall Darth Vader down here that's scary enough. He's dressed up like Hollywood Hogan.
Right.
That's scary enough, is it? Because I'll come down here and I had him standing like right here.
Right.
And I came down in the door and there's one of my boom lights is on. And there's no other lights on in the studio, and all I see is like size like 7 feet. And I'm like, what the fuck? And oh shit, it's Darth Vader. Okay.
I've got the life-size Chucky right here.
People like life-size dolls.
I wouldn't have bought him.
No,
if he was like,
don't even.
If he was 7 feet tall, I wouldn't have bought him because I'd scare. I get so stoned, I'd walk through the curtain and I'd fucking piss myself and hit my head.
I like dolls. I'd buy the life-size Annabelle, but nobody else would really buy that Annabelle, which means those movies are also a bit fake because the real Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll, so that would make more sense. I'm just like, it's like the family would be, how did you know what my daughter looks like so precise that you can make this exact replica of the doll? Like, it's just too many weird things, and it's there to be weird. I get it. It is there to be weird.
Yes, exactly.
But it doesn't make any sense. It ripped me out of the movie. Bad take.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. That shit, it did it through.
It's supposed to be weird.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That is an awesome Darth Vader.
And like I said, I'm gonna put something on here to fast him on.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, get him.
I get the Hollywood Hogan. They won't stay on, but I can put the Hollywood Oakleys on them
awesome.
too. So yeah,
you can get some post-it tack and make them stick.
I need something like that. That's not gonna mess with. But yeah, that's Hollywood Vader here. I'm not gonna fuck with him right now. It's under a t-shirt. I feel like I'm violent. He's gonna Me Too me or something. I'm like feeling his chest plate.
Alicia Witt was the mom, right?
She was Lee Harker's mom, Mrs. Harker.
Mrs. Harker, I guess. Why would she trust that long? Like, I just, there's too many. Right. They explain so much. There's just too, like, why would you trust that guy wouldn't kill her? Like, I'd be like, this weird guy came to my house and threatened my daughter. Like, you'd call the police immediately. I know it's a horror movie, so we have to accept some things, which is fine. I'll accept.
He was gonna kill them, but she made a deal with him, made a Faustian bargain to do this, and it kept her daughter alive. And we find out at the end that she did this and to keep her daughter alive. And if like things didn't play out in that scene, they would burn in hell forever because she made this deal with the devil.
They're going to burn in hell forever because she made a deal with the devil anyways.
Yeah. Well,
like she's screwed no matter what. Like there's no.
But okay, so as long as she kept up her end, like if she kept doing these doll things, because remember, he was committing it. Remember they said it was like Manson, where Manson didn't have any hands on.
Correct.
He did it through his family.
Yes.
So that's how he was working through these dolls. But the mother had to deliver them as a member of the church, and the only reason why they were still alive all this time is because the mother kept doing these dolls to these families and kept on basically killing these people for Satan. And
so she's going to burn in hell. Like she's burning in hell now.
Her daughter, but they would both burn in hell if she stopped. Like if she stopped 5 years. If she stopped 5 years into it, her daughter would have only been 14 when her daughter died. She was trying to keep her daughter alive for as long. It was basically immortality as long as the mother was doing these deals. Kept on delivering these dolls.
Like there should have been more like incentive. Besides, like, it's like, well, we'll kill your daughter. It's like, but I see a creepy man. I'm just going to call the cops. Maybe there should have been a scene where she called the cops and then he did something and got around it. Or they went to go arrest him and he looked normal. He's like, look, I'm normal. Like, if you're going to have all this metaphysical stuff, then go for it. Like, have him be like, he can come and possess her at any time. It's like, I can kill your daughter and tear her soul to shreds no matter what. You're going to hell no matter what, whether you help me or not. But you can save her soul. There needed to be, because they explained it all in that 5-minute dump at the end. I had more questions. Whereas if they didn't explain anything, you just be like, it's an artsy movie. We make up our own thing. Julie Strain.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I got the explanation made sense to me, and I was fine with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it made sense in their. I guess it made sense. Like they told it to you, and it makes sense when you're like, okay, all that connects. But why is this happening? And like, why? The other question is, why should I actually really care? Because I didn't care about the character anyways. I'm like, well, if you're solving a crime, then solve the crime. It's like you didn't really solve anything. You just walked through the movie, and then it ended.
Yeah, like because the solving was figuring out who was doing the killing, and we find that out.
But we find it out through the actions of a 5-minute voiceover, not her investigating it through. It's like she just shows up and then it's okay, here's what happened. When you were a kid, this weird guy came and we didn't call the cops like anybody else would. We decided to make a deal with them because we're churchgoers. Like, wouldn't you just be like, I'm not making a deal with you, you're Satan, and I don't care if I die, I'll go to heaven. I mean,
no, I don't. Well, I don't think that was an option. I think if he shows up, you're going to die.
Yeah, but you're going to heaven. If he shows up and you deal with him, you're going to hell. For sure.
And this mother made the wrong decision. Obviously, that was the Faustian bargain. Right. We don't have a movie if she just says no, thank you. It calls the cops.
But there needed to be more. I can't remember the exact story of Faust, but he's gaining a positive. Her positive is like the daughter won't get killed, but
that's
there's no evidence.
As a parent, that's a positive. That's a
positive, right? But there's no evidence that he could do anything. Like, it's literally a creepy man showed up. Like, just be like, get off my property. Like, she doesn't know he has magic. Like, it should have been like he comes back, like she tries to get him arrested or something. There's maybe and it's like, oh, I called the cops immediately, but somehow he eluded them or they couldn't find him. And then he appeared in my dreams, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like something to be like, I can do, before I commit to killing families, I'm going to try every other possibility to get out of this before I resort to killing the families to save my daughter. Like try conventional means, like try calling the cops, try shooting him, but he keeps escaping those conventional means. So there's no way. And it's like, finally, after exhausting every possibility, I decided to save you by doing this. I know I'm a terrible mother, but I did what I did for you. Okay, Mom, I forgive you. And that's that. But instead it's like, if you don't do this, I'll kill your daughter. Okay. That's pretty fast. Like, did you try anything? Maybe there was more to the movie and they had to edit it out for time. It's possible. If they didn't explain anything, if that 5 minutes of dialogue was just removed.
I think you're forgetting that this guy is an agent of Satan. It's not just a guy. It's not just like this bad dude causing all these, like doing these killings and stuff. This is an agent of the devil. There is no like, wait, I think I have another option here. This is going to happen, or it won't happen if you do this for me. It's the Faustian bargain. There is no like.
But you know it's that because you know you're watching a movie. The person if you're this woman, you're at home cooking dinner or whatever. Your little girl's running around outside playing. This weird guy comes up to your lawn and he's like, oh, it's like, this weird guy's on my lawn. You just call the police. In the real world, you would do that. And then he's like, even if he said, I am from Satan, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm calling the cops, get out of here. He needs to prove that he can keep her, that he needs to prove that he is got these powers. That's why if there was a scene where she tries to get him arrested and he just escapes. And it's like,
okay, so what I'm hearing is you needed that extra scene showing that he was powerful and could ruin their lives if they didn't commit to what he wanted them to do. You feel like that you needed that scene.
I don't need the scene, but if you want me to care about the mother, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't care about caring about the mother. That I don't even. All right.
Like it's like, okay, so she made this dumb deal, so screw her. Who cares? Like, but it's like all these families are dead. It's like, okay, so she's the killer, right? Because,
well, yes, that's why she's going to burn. That's one of the reasons why she's going to burn in hell.
Yeah,
but
so
she's okay with that because she's keeping her daughter alive.
Right. And I don't know if I would really trust him to not kill the daughter anyway, right? This is like the hostage takers. Oh, I won't give me the ransom and I'll give the kid back. Yeah, okay.
No, right. I think she realizes that after, because remember when she said, "Are you still doing your prayers?" And she's like, "No," and she's like, and she starts laughing, and Lee, the daughter, is like looking like, what is so funny? And the mother's like, it doesn't do a shit anyway.
Right. It doesn't matter because.
So she realizes that like what, 10 years later or however old Lee is now, she realizes that many years later that it was like that it was going to happen no matter what. And like she chose wrong from the beginning. That like, that's when we see like, oh yeah, she realizes she made the wrong decision.
Yeah, I understand completely what's going on. It's just that I feel like it was just they tried to make this really creepy, weird movie, and I'm just like, no, I'm not creeped out. I'm not scared. I don't think anything's creepy at all. I don't care about what's going on. She sits there like an idiot while the guy's killing the woman. What was the point of rushing there then? And I understand you're saying it's all fate. Well, if then it's all fate, then why is anything happening? Like and this is a personal thing in movies like this, when people see the devil or they can do things, if there's the devil, you would automatically believe in God then, wouldn't you? Or would you think that there was only the devil and not God? That's one of my issues with any of these supernatural ones. Because if this guy is able to do this, you must think, well, maybe there really is God, because if the devil's alive and there's demons and these guys can do this, then God must be real. I'd rather just side with him and have salvation, because it's automatic proof that there is a God, versus like if it's like serial killer, you can't do anything.
Well, that's where they started with faith. The mother and the daughter started with faith. I mean, they belonged to a church and everything. But see, the thing is that we're given free will to deny God, right?
Right.
Like, and so this woman, when faced with this decision to either save her child or, do this thing for Longlegs, she chose poorly. But it did start with she was a woman of God in the first, like at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that belief in God.
But how would Longlegs have killed her daughter? Would he have just killed the daughter? Because he doesn't himself do the killing. So would he have brought so he went up I don't know. There is a scene missing. The motivations of the mother are extremely important since it's the catalyst of the entire film. Maybe she's lost faith or she's already something weird is going on. Cause he doesn't kill. It's I'll kill your daughter. Okay, go ahead, kill her. Well, I don't actually kill myself. Hold on, stay right there. I'm going to go home and make a doll of her. And then I'm going to bring the doll. It's like he doesn't kill. So there needs to be a threat. It can't just be a guy shows up and says, I'm going to kill your daughter. Are you going to kill these families? Okay, I'll kill the families. Why would I trust him? Why would I do what he said? Why would I break my faith to do all this when I could call the cops right away? For me to believe in the story, there needs to be something to motivate the character to make this decision other than a random guy showing up in your lawn. It's like, I'm going to kill your daughter. Sure you are, buddy. Go drink over there. Go away.
Okay, so remember in the end where the mother is pointing the shotgun at it, what looks like a girl, but when we get closer, it's a replica of the daughter.
Yes.
So he shows up with one of those dolls, and it's kind of left to us to put some pieces together in this movie, and I feel like maybe that's the problems that you might be having. I'm not sure, but he shows up with this doll, and it seems to me that the mother was probably like, no, thank you. But he was like, no, you're going to, in my mind, this is how I see it. The mother was probably like, no, I don't want the doll. And then Longlegs is like, well, no, you're going to take the doll or you and your daughter are getting killed or your daughter's getting killed or whatever. So she takes the doll, but she does these things for Longlegs in order to keep her and her daughter alive.
So they could have said the doll possessed her to work for Longlegs. And then that would have eliminated any questions because you're like, well, yeah, maybe they just get a doll in the mail and they don't. Now, if you just get a doll in the mail, you're like, oh, what's this doll? This is weird. And you're like, okay. And then you just put it in the corner of your house. It's like, okay, I'll look at it later. And then the doll possessed her to work for Longlegs. That would have been already way better because now you're like, oh shit, she's been possessed this whole time. Oh crap. She's been stuck too. Like you thought it's like Zepp.
No,
you thought Zepp was the guy, but it was really, this other guy. So that would have been a better explanation right there.
To me, it's better the way it was because it's worse that she wasn't possessed. She wasn't possessed by this doll. She made a choice to do all these killings where these other families, they like, oh, this doll, okay, cool. And then they get possessed by the doll and they do these awful things. So they're going to heaven because it was out of their control. They were possessed to do these, with they show the scene of the father bashing the mother's head and just absolute disgusting things. But this mother, she staved off possession because she decided to work with Longlegs. So she's more of the villain, really, villain, of the whole thing. To me, I like that.
I would have liked it if if we understood her reasoning better, because if you're not going to do a procedural thing and you're just going to do a metaphysical thing, then just have it be all weird, make the entire movie super weird. And you're just like, I got to figure this out. And then we would piece it together amongst ourselves. You talk to your friends. What do you think happened? Then you kind of figure it out, as opposed to explaining it, but explaining it in a way that, well, I didn't like the explanation. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but thanks for having me on. My rating would be 2 out of 10. I'll give it 1 point for the artistic value of the movie. I'll give it 1 point for Nicolas Cage just being a complete goof. and he's just fun to watch. I didn't like any other aspects of the movie. That's my take on it. If they make a part 2, I'll still watch it because whatever. But I think this should have been something that I wish it wasn't hyped up too much. Because people were saying this is amazing and we're dying over it. As soon as people start hyping it up too much, I start immediately thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this because it's just like, it's almost like, oh, this Long Legs came out. Oh, I don't know what this is. Oh, that was pretty cool.
That's how I went into it. Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome having you with us.
Yeah, and brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
All right. We'll connect again on whatever. Maybe Collector or one of those things that might be cool.
Yes, we'll talk very soon, bro.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, brother. See you.
You too. Bye.
All right. So now it's just me and you gonna argue about this thing.
I think we hashed out the movie.
I have I got more issues than TV Guide, but look, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. Like it was wacky as fuck. And yeah, like I said, you get to the end and it just comes to like a 5-minute just exposition Vince McMahon on Janelle Grant's head. There you go, Vinny, if you're still listening. But that's what it was just like a big ass exposition dump. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like this wasn't that what the last hour and 34 minutes was supposed to be? Like I was supposed to be able to figure this out. Like I kind of had a handle on it, but they're like, hey, let's just put it out there. This is everything in case we didn't do a good enough job, which means you didn't do a good enough job. I enjoyed Nicolas Cage's performance. I liked how, they cut back and you get the cut back and forths. Mm-hmm. And different lighting. And then you don't find out until the end he's living in the mother's basement. Mm-hmm. Which was pretty fucking wicked.
Yeah, he turned that into his lab.
Yeah. Scarlet. Not wrestling tonight. No, tonight's our horror night. Monday nights, if you want wrestling, we do wrestling on Monday nights, pay-per-views, and then videos during the week. We got a Raw review out if you want to check that out right now. But if you want to just hang out and listen to us finish up talking about this movie, you can do that too. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. But no, the ending kind of fucking threw me a little bit. I'll give it up for the OTC. I'm an OTC guy. That's a wrestling. Oh, there's an angry text from Trina. She said, "Great, you got people in the chat talking about wrestling now." But no, I guess like if I had this, like Nicolas Cage was Nicolas Cage in this. I got what I expected. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't surprised, shocked, or awed. I went in expecting to get full Nicolas Cage, and I got it. You have a good evening too, Scarlett. Come on back next Monday, 8:35 Eastern for Wrestling Talk.
Night.
Have a good night. But no, if I had to score this one, this is tough because I don't want to be too rough on it, but I don't want to give it more credit than it deserves. So I'll let you go first. I'll defer to you.
All right. So are we doing 1 to 5?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to give it 3.
3?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to give this one. I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go 2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 2 out of 5 on it. I'm not being too rough. I'm not being too kind. It's not 2.5, so it's not a 50% because for me, it falls just below that line. Nitpicky stuff. I'm writing our scores down. So you gave it 3, you said?
Yep.
3 of 5 for Trina.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, man. It was awesome having you here. Yeah, I love that we were duking it out over this movie. I think that's awesome.
Yes, that is, I do. That's fun. Yeah, not an echo chamber. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't want to be across board on shit. It's like Trina thinks part 7 is the best Friday the 13th movie, and she's wrong because she doesn't realize it's part 6. It's all right. She's entitled to be wrong. It's fine.
No, 7 is my favorite movie. I do think 6 is better.
I know. No, I said a busted chops. He gives it a negative. Gab gives us a -1. Damn.
Gab didn't even see it, so he doesn't count.
Gap, you're basically a 3/5 compromise, is what she's saying. We're fine. No, fuck. Yeah, Friday, like objectively the best Friday the 13th. I mean, what? Overall, I'd say it's either it's one of three. Either 2, 4, or 6 would probably be the best one. I honestly,
2. Yeah,
I could concede that it goes 2, 6, 4. I have to go back and look because me and J-Man ranked them. I want to see if I flexed it all on that because 6 is just my personal favorite. It always will be. I love that movie to death. Plus, it has 3 Alice Cooper songs in it.
Yes.
This one had a pretty good. Well, I like "Bang a Gong" by T-Rex.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
I like the use of that. Very Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn-esque. I'm not a fan of James Gunn, but I've said this before. I am a fan of his musical tastes. So that's about the only thing. But no, this movie was, like I said, 2 out of 5 for me, 3 out of 5 for Trina, and let's see.
J-Man was 2.
Yep, J-Man was a 2. Let me write his down over here too.
So even though we disagreed, J-Man and I, our scores aren't that far apart.
No, we're all like I was at 2. That's where I'm at. You're a 3. So no, there's no big discrepancy there. You know,
really. He's 1 out of 5. Oh,
1 out of 5. That. Oh, okay, 1 out of 5. I'll adjust the official scorebook here. 1. That's just a big line. 1 out of 5. There we go. All right. But that's the show, folks. I think we've pretty much covered everything we need to cover, haven't we, Trina?
Yeah, we argued about the entire movie.
Yes, we did. So this will be a fun episode for people to go listen back to. You know, maybe me and Trina and J-Man will sit down and watch this together for Patreon and do a commentary. That'd be fun.
Do it. That would be awesome.
Okay.
And I think that anybody like watching this episode should watch the movie and then rewatch J-Man and I argue about it and see what they think.
I'll still keep it to watch it again. All right, good. Nice. Do that. Well, if what we'll do is we'll put it in the studio and we'll just we won't do it live. We'll do it off air and we'll just record a commentary track for it because they've got the public version. Now it's time for me to show the Patreon. And folks, that is well worth the $2 a month that I charge. And I looked around at a lot of the bigger channels and I'm like, this is something that I can do. And we've got a lot of Andy Sedaris content over there right now. Terrifier 2's over there. The Crow. We've got a bunch of, I'm getting ready to put the omnibus of all the Andy Sedaris trailers is getting uploaded. That's 19 minutes of me re-editing trailers. I'm just waiting to get the narration being recorded. And then we'll upload those to Patreon. I'm releasing them individually public on YouTube, and I will, like I said, those are all available in one shot on Patreon, along with all the other content. And like I said, I'm starting to record stuff for October now. So you're going to have a big month in October. Also coming up, I had the Natural Born Thrillers video for wrestling. I've got another one I'm not talking about, but it's going to be another bigger one like that. And we've got tomorrow night, Andy Sedaris night, the finale of the Lethal Ladies series. Lethal Ladies return to Savage Beach from 1998, starring Julie Strain, Shay Marks, Playmate of the Year, and Penthouse Pet and Playmate of the Year, Julie Strain, written and directed by Andy Sedaris. So that's tomorrow night at 8:35. So yeah, are you on the Toy Stream Thursday night, Trina?
I should be.
Okay.
Yep. Thursdays. Yep. Thursdays right now on Vinnieart's channel. Yeah. I guess the Toy streams right now are going to be on Vinny's channel, 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays Eastern time. So yeah, catch us there.
Yes, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, the Joseph Santos, for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. That's the show for this evening, folks. We will catch you tomorrow night, 8:35. You'll have channel members. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I got to do double duty. Channel members get a video, and I've got another public one I'll be dropping tomorrow. And yeah, Andy Sedaris trailer will be dropping in about an hour and a half for Guns, which is only available for channel members now, but I will drop it publicly for you guys. And yeah, go sign up for the Patreon. Channel memberships $2.99, $4.99. If not, just subscribe. It's free. It always will be. Until next time, for Mrs. Co-host Trina from Real Horror, I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.